How's it going, guys? Too Tall here. So, because of a whole bunch of questions I've been getting about how to get into paintball or how to get into magfed, I'm just going to make a video explaining everything I know about the subject. So I hope you guys all have really long attention spans. First thing I'm going to start off with is the gun itself, because that's what everyone's interested in. This is a Milsig M17. It doesn't come like this. I've added a couple things, mainly the pistol grip. It's a Magpul pistol grip. Get one of these guys. You can't describe it till you hold it, but it's so comfy. It's like, I don't even know what it's like, but it's like something great. Does not come with an HPA tank. You can't run CO2 in this. You need to use HPA, so I just bought a Gorilla Air 13 cubic inch 3000 psi tank, and I would recommend you go with that kind of tank, because then you can use the stock, which I find to be the best way to play magfed, because let's face it, the main reason people are playing magfed is to feel operator and to feel like they're in a milsim or reenacting the military or whatever. Recommended upgrades, nothing internally, nothing at all, mainly because I don't think they make any internal upgrades, but Magpul angled foregrip, any other barrel besides this piece of crap stock barrel. This thing is horrible. Get a different barrel immediately. I don't even know why I still have it. I'd recommend a 12 or 14 inch barrel. Buy it at your local field so that you can make sure the paint that they're selling there is a good match to the size of the barrel. For most of the masks that beginners use, or really anybody use, get a rail riser and then stick a red dot on top there. There are two exceptions that I know of that you don't need a rail riser for, and that would be the JT Proflex. I don't have it here right now because it's on back order for me, but the Sly Profit, or Profit, depending on how you look at it. Surprisingly enough, the Dye i4 is the lowest profile mask in the industry. You have to use a rail riser for it. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but you really have to push against the mask to look through the red dot if you're not running a rail riser on top. As for red dots, stay away from anything they sell on a paintball website. The reason I say that is not because they're bad or whatever. It's because they're severely overpriced. Let me give you an example here. Now I learned this the hard way. This is an NC Star red dot sight. It's got that nice, amazing blue tint to it. You know, that thing that literally no one likes. And it was $45 on hustlepaintball.com. And you also have to go to the highest setting on there in terms of brightness to be able to play outdoors properly. This, I believe it's called a Sportsman Field Red Dot, and I got it on Amazon for $23. It has all the features of the NC Star Red Dot. However, it's clear, if you guys can see that. It doesn't have that blue tint, and the first brightness setting is bright enough to play outdoors. It also has a green reticle, which is nice. And if I didn't say it before, it's $23. A reflex sight for $23. That's pretty good. Actually, that's really good. I actually bought like 3 of them just because of how cheap they are. Let's see here. Oh, masks. Depending on your budget, like let's say you have a budget for masks of $50. Raise up your budget. That's all I have to tell you, because you'll thank yourself if you get a high-end mask over anything below $60. If you have like a $60 to $75 budget, get a JT Proflex. $75 to $100, get a Sly Profit. If you have an over $100 budget, if you have a small face, and only if you have a small face, get a Dye i4, because I've had people with medium-sized heads try on this mask and say, this thing is the most uncomfortable mask I've ever put on, because it squeezes people's face because of how small this is. I'll never use a JT Proflex again, and not because I don't like the masks. It's because I don't want to buy another one, and I have a giant hole in the top of the mask. I don't even know how it got there. It just got there. So, that's a thing. For gloves, just always try them on. I mean, these are mechanics gloves that I got at Meyer for 15 bucks, and they work fine. Let's see here. When you're ordering your M17, and I would recommend you get it from Hustle Paintball, get some 10-round tubes to go with it. They make loading magazines so much easier. Your marker is actually going to come with a couple things. That's the, you can see what's in the bag. That's a stock pistol grip. Yeah, throw that to the side. But it's going to come with a couple different Allen keys, some O-rings and parts for the heat core, which is the system that the Milsig uses, some oil, which is fantastic, and then a couple Allen keys. Keep all of this. I'm serious, keep all of this, because it's useful. And the Allen keys actually also work for adjusting the red dot too, so that's nice. I forgot to put the pistol grip back in. Silly me. Okay. Let's see here. In terms of barrel cleaning and whatnot, the marker's going to come with a squeegee like this. You know, we all know these squeegees. You stick them in, you pull them through. There you go. It's clean, but then you have to wash it off, otherwise it doesn't clean properly the next time. Or you can spend about $7-8 bucks and get a swab. You just push it through the barrel, pull it out the other end, or you can pull it out the same way you came from. But these work a lot better than just normal squeegee. They're made out of fleece, most of them, and they'll wear out faster because it's not rubber like that squeegee. But it does such a better job of cleaning your barrel. It's so much better. In terms of magazines, let's see here. It'll come with only one magazine, the 18-round First Strike magazine. Maybe it's my experience, but when I load 18 First Strikes into this magazine, it will chop First Strikes. Not break them in the barrel, but chop First Strikes, because First Strikes will jam when you load them up past, like, I think it's 10 rounds or something like that. It's ridiculous. Get the 4-pack of 20-rounders. Now, something that you're going to want to do with the magazines when you get them, I'm not going to show it to you guys because I just don't have time right now, but when you take apart your magazine and do this first thing you get your magazines, there's going to be the detent, that's going to be hooked up to a wire, and then there's going to be a spring around the wire. It's going to be a big spring running like this, and the wire is going to be doing the same thing. When you wind this, it's going to pull the spring down, or not the spring, but the wire, which is going to pull the spring down. Now, the problem with the magazines when you first get them is the spring tension is unbelievably high. You will break a ball every round, I guarantee you, in the summer, using mid-grade paint if you keep the magazines how they are. So, what I did was I just took apart the magazine. It's not hard, it's just 2 screws right there. Pop it open, and then you avoid the wire, but you cut the spring. And you cut the spring about 2 inches, and then you do the test that I made. You take 2 rounds, and for comparison, well, actually, let me just do it first. You put the 2 rounds in, then you release the locking bar. See how high they shoot up. See how high that was? I'll do it up here, because maybe the camera angle is a little bit wonky right now. I don't know. I'm shooting with a GoPro, so I don't know. It goes about that far above the magazine. That's good, because the stock way the magazines come, it shoots those 2 balls about that high above the magazine. So you get a lot of breaks in the gun, and I mean a lot of breaks. Also, when you first get these magazines, they're going to be a little hard to put into the gun and take out of the gun. And I mean, slightly difficult. So just stick them in, pull them out, stick it in, pull it out. Oh boy, that's not going to go over well in the comment section. Anyway, and you do that a couple times, that'll loosen up the magazines, break them in a little bit, and then your magazines will be good. But until then, it's going to be a little bit difficult for mag changes like it used to be. I would actually have to exert force to get the magazine out until I broke all these magazines in. Oh, as for maintenance, I'll do a video on that later, but it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. Let's talk about rigs, and by rigs I mean what you carry your magazines in. Now, I'm going to give you the can't talk right now. I'm going to tell you guys the biggest, most important thing about rigs possible that you can tell to a new player or somebody just getting into magfed. Stay away from any cross-draw vests. If they have a zipper going up the middle, don't get it. Just don't. They're horrible. They're horrible quality. They're horrible to use. They're just horrible. Now, on the low end of the spectrum, which you can still use quite well. I used this for a long time. This is a Condor chest rig. Goes across your shoulders like that. Hooks around and buckles into there. Then you have this part that goes around your waist, around your back, clicks into place. And it's pretty secure. The only problem is that when you're running around, you have to have it way too tight to your chest, otherwise all of your magazines will spill out of the chest rig because there's no tension put on the magazines. So if you guys like playing Snake or just low cover on any kind of field, don't go on your belly if you're using a chest rig like this, because if you do, your magazines will fall out, then you'll need to reload, and then you won't have any magazines. That happened to me once. So what I would recommend, oh, and before I get to this, get a dump pouch. What a dump pouch is it's just a place where you put your empty magazines so you don't lose them, or you don't have to shove them back into your mag pouches, potentially making sure that you accidentally take out a magazine that's fully empty instead of fully loaded, and you put that into your gun instead of the fully loaded magazine, and then you're shooting blanks at people. Oh, that's the other problem with milsig. It's the only real complaint I have about it, but when you're mid-combat, you can't tell the difference when this thing is shooting dry and when it's actually shooting based on the sound signature. It's like when you're just in your room or whatever doing it, you'll be able to tell a distinct difference. When you're on the field, no difference at all. Anyway though, so this is a Rothko plate carrier with 3 Condor open top kangaroo magazine pouches. I'll get to those in a second. 1 open top magazine pouch and some unknown bungee sling and a Condor dump pouch. So I would recommend a plate carrier for pretty much everyone, because the way these things are, what you do is you lift up this, you lift that up, then this comes around your waist, goes right there, other one comes around your waist, goes right there, put it flat down, and then it's all nice and secure. It doesn't bounce up and down or anything like that, and it doesn't feel that tight on you because all the tension is around your waist pretty much. So I would recommend the plate carrier above all else in terms of rigs. Get a Molly plate carrier, that way you can suit it up however you like with whatever magazine pouches you want, whatever slings you want, whatever anything you want. For the Condor kangaroo pouches, if you guys go online right now, like let's say you go onto Amazon, they're not going to look like this. What they're going to look like is there's going to be some elastic that goes up and around, clamps onto the top of the magazine, holds it in place. I found a much better use for that elastic. Let me just take off this magazine real quick. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take that elastic and you're going to weave it through here, through all of these little loops, and then you're going to tie it in place. And what that's going to do is it's going to make spring tension, or not spring tension, but tension on the magazine so that it doesn't fall out. And let me just demonstrate that right here. If I can get that. There we go. But it's not falling out. Like, I'm holding this upside down, and it's not falling out. So, it works, and it works quite well. So that way when you're running around and whatnot, you're not going to be worrying about the magazines falling out, which is just wonderful. You don't really need a sling, unless you have like a pistol or something, but for my experience, I wouldn't even get a pistol. Because let's say you get a TIPX by Tippmann, most popular pistol out there. You're spending $220 for the pistol, and it comes with 2 magazines. And you get about 2 magazines per 12 grams CO2. So let's say you have that. That's, since the magazines hold 7 rounds, that's 14 rounds. And because of it, you spent $220. Buy a 30-round magazine, just one more magazine, then you have more firepower than the pistol. Or one 20-round magazine, not one 30-round magazine. Just buy another magazine, and then you have more firepower than the pistol and more rounds. So I would never recommend getting a pistol unless you play at a CQB field, in which case, lucky you. Okay, in terms of pants, because let's be honest, you can wear whatever top you want to. I recommend black or whatever, and you'll be fine. But pants are very important, because if you play paintball for any length of time, you will be kneeling down. I guarantee you. And so, when you kneel down, if you don't have knee pads, you get sore pretty quick. Your knees just get cut up, they get sore, they get bruised. It's not a fun experience. So these are multicam Emerson combat pants. They're about 55, 60 bucks. Just look them up on eBay. They come with these built-in knee pads so that when you have them on, the knee pads don't slide, they don't go anywhere. They're always there when you need them. Just be sure to order one size up, because for whatever reason their sizing, like a large is really a medium for most people. Like, I'm a large, but I had to order an extra large to make sure that they fit properly. And that's that, I think.